That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Farina. Who are you?
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor. You know, the god.
Focalor. Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. The heavenly principle.
Deceiving?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro-Archon Egeria, for uninitiated. It hardly gets more disastrous than a preordained national catastrophe, now does it? She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass. And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly prince. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean. I had to outwit. I'm a genius, I know. I can only, although, looking back now, it was hardly the inherent... But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of...
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human, but...
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever known. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first... The me you see before you now, she could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable as she wished. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the heavenly principles. Do you still remember the final scene of in order that the prophecy under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the prophecy, all to create a deceitful appearance of that prophecy coming to pass. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
But Farina is only human, isn't she? Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary human being. I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure. It must have been...
It has indeed. It's been 500, and all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely.
Time to act.
Oh? Who permitted you to come onto this stage? All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am Fossil. Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough. Rain outlines your fate. Nowhere to hide. Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards! No, my sword. Don't blink. Incoming. Hey! Rain outlines your fate. Don't blink. Farina. Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you? Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you. Wait a moment. You're near me? How can this be? Mirror you, huh? You know what? That's not bad. Let's go with that. Mirror me. What do you wish to say? The prophecy. Have you heard of it? What prophecy? Wait. I know. I think. I don't know why, but it's in my head somehow. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away. Oh. What's going on? Yeah, but doesn't that mean everyone will die? Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give people a chance to. I will tell you how to save everyone, but.
Oh, so there's still hope after all. As for the suffering, but if the prophecy will come true, I'll also, if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side.
I suppose this would. Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its Hydro Archon. I need you to play a role. That of the new Archon.
Play as.
That's right. You must begin a never-ending mass. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy.
But how will I do this? A human assuming the role of a god without being exposed.
Don't worry. What you must, being a human yourself, I'm sure you already remember. Your true challenge will not be pursuing divinity, but content.
I'm still not sure I understand, but so how long?
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for many, many years, but I promise you, all will eventually end in a
trial? Huh. The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession, but this is my first time facing the people. What should I say to most appear like a god? Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the Opera Epiclese. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. Indeed, I am Verena de Fontaine, your new Archon. In truth, I know little about as the god Focalor, the god of justice. I shall do all within. Once again, this should do it. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was.
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses human.
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What's the difference between her and an ordinary person, then?
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might just be a Maison-backed puppet.
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being a fake? Right. Mirmi said that I just need to play the role of a god as humans imagine them to be. Calm down, Verena. Think. Assertive, with a strong sense of presence. One who can dispel all doubt. That is the character I'm fated to play. Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership of this opera house, would the children of Fontaine follow them? Well, you may consider my Now then, let us be reintroduced.
So that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an opera house?
Her personality. It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before. Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your ardor for justice. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. The scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its God. On one side, it must carry fairness. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fires and drink to the future of Fontaine. There is no trouble in this world that justice cannot solve. All that is needed is for you, my people, to believe in it, heart and soul. So long as I, the Archon Focalor, stand within the Opera Epiclese, so long as I stand before the Oratrice, I shall even judge the gods of this world!
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Come now, was I not just at the Opera House in person? Leave these kinds of things to Neuvillette. Besides, none...
If I may be so...
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous tribe.
That's true,
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now, do your duty.
Lady Farina, I don't know what to say. Thank you for agreeing to see me.
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own sense of perseverance instead. Long have you stood in line to meet me, have you not? Oh, I'm afraid that... All right. Deoteria, is it?
You remembered me, and you knew of my family. He's doing much better now. In fact...
Oh, good.
You're so...
Lady Farina, here are the latest hydrological reports.
I see. It's as I thought, then. As your god, I did already expect this, but I wanted to see how far your human wisdom would allow you to analyze it. All manner of sign.
Well, as I understand it, the Fontaine Research Institute is also trying to find a way to counter the rising water levels.
Really? Have they...
I'm afraid that they haven't found any effective solution thus far.
Is that so? Well, no wonder. This issue has reached the realm of the gods, after all. Still, their spirit is praiseworthy. The day is finally over. I haven't, but it's good to see that everything's getting on track. There are no longer any voices of suspicion. Maybe this is fine. I just... All right.
Lady Farina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases, as well as a summary of the follow-up.
There'll be no need for that. I've seen...
Lady Farina, I've...
Indeed, my dear, loyal citizen. This joyous moment is an honor for us both.
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant hydrological anomalies near Poisson.
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me informed. I feel...
Lady Farina, it's like a dream being it. I've heard that the first member...
And what a fine family yours is indeed. It brings me great joy. What is it?
Are you crying?
This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god.
No wonder. No wonder. A manifestation of your power, then. Oh, Archon, I am honored to have witnessed it. Honored indeed.
So interminable. Hundreds of years must have passed by now. I never imagined that it would hurt that way. I want to tell someone, anyone, about this. But I've conducted so many, and all I can do is keep heart.
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone. Your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
Share my burden? That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be
But even if your burden doesn't need, just share it with me. I'm what you'd...
A witness. Yes, I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage... If that's the case... He's right. I could confide in him, couldn't I? But if things don't play out as... No, Farina. But what if... Farina, is it such an outrageous thing to do? And if you let this think about it long and hard... No, I have nothing to say. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my...
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth. You've never once let her in on the full plan.
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself. She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine, it seems that trusting humanity was the right decision after all.
I believe that I understand how your deception works. But how would you build on this foundation?
Good, good. Of course, the Eudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine, yes?
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along. Am I right?
And then I became one with the Oratrice.